All right, shalom, shalom. All right, all right, all right. I want to say shalom to all the brothers and sisters. Good to see you. Good to be back with you. Those who come on in a little while, most high bless. Rainy afternoon in New York, New Jersey. I suspect Philadelphia, Connecticut, parts of South Jersey, Atlantic City area. Very rainy, but nonetheless, the prophecies continue. Nonetheless, the Most High does what He does best, and that's righteousness. Make sure everything is up. How was everybody's week? I trust you had a blessed and knowledgeable week. Let me see something real quick. I know I did. Very knowledgeable. Devil was on my back. As usual, man. I don't see it up. Let me see. But it's all good. We do what we do in the Most High and we survive, and nothing can get in the way of that. I love it, man. I absolutely love it. I don't see anything happening here. Just bear with me a moment. Let me see if I can get going. Oh, yeah, there you go. There you go. Let me see if it's locked out, though. I don't think it's locked out. But again, I want to say shalom to all the brothers and sisters. We see what's happening in Iran. I told you, brothers, the beast is not, he doesn't go out like that unless the Most High sanctions it. Well, there's still time. That's what Iran is running on. He's running on time. And he's hoping to cripple America and various European nations by stagnating the finances. But at the same time, she's getting hit as well, or he, meaning Iran, is getting hit as well. Shalom, brother. Shalom, shalom. So the beast doesn't go out that easy. I know that overall we want the fall of America. I want it too, but you have to be sensible if you want to survive. You have to be sensible if you want to keep going in the Most High. That's how it is, you know. That's how it is. But got a few things on my mind. I got a few things on my mind I want to get off. And again, I hope everyone had a beautiful weekend. I hope you're maintaining and your health is up. I hope your pockets is fat. Most High's will. I hope you are making ends meet. I hope the Most High is providing you with your daily bread. I hope. But I'll be right back with you. Got a few things to discuss. Let's get into it. All right, from what I can see, Facebook is locked out. Your Facebook is locked out. It's unfortunate, but it's all good. Yeah, so Trump, he's pulled back on sending people to, I believe it's India or Pakistan, somewhere out there, going eastward for negotiations. It seems like it's a waste of time, so he says. So it might be a wrap on that, you know. Shabbat shalom, brother. Shabbat shalom. So it seemed like that might be an end. And overall, man, the Most High, He revealeth His secrets to the saints, but the Most High also gives wisdom. He gives wisdom to those who love Him. I was reading that earlier this morning, and it's spot on. He gives wisdom to those who love Him. Now, you may choose to follow emotions. You may choose to follow feelings, but that's not going to get you anywhere in the long run. You have to take on the wisdom of the Most High. You have to be properly balanced in the Most High, especially in these times. Knowledge and wisdom shall be the stability of thy times, the Most High tells you. He tells you that very, very clearly, very clearly. And unfortunately, this is what I believe. There's two truths in the truth. There's the truth, and then there's a level of the truth that opens your minds or your spirits to a higher level of understanding, bottom line. The Spirit opens your mind and your soul to a higher level of understanding. Let me show you something real quick and where I was going, because I was going through this morning, and turn this one off because that's Facebook. Facebook is blocked out. I don't know why it does that, but I was thinking on this because I got this devil, this she devil that's following me in my travels, and I'm trying to shake it loose, but for now, I can only get but so far from the devil. And this is a sister, and she means to destroy me. I personally believe, you understand, because she knows my views and my beliefs. And this is what you brothers and sisters have to be aware of. This is what we discussed this the last video. You got people that will hate you on the jobs, people that will hate you as friends, people that will hate you as family members. And we shouldn't get bent out of course when we are confronted by those elements, because or spiritual demons, put it that way, because this is part of your job. Part of your job is to maintain in the Most High, focus in the Most High, and let nothing separate you from the love of the Father. So this particular demon is trying to attack me, and I keep just playing it cool and just putting it in the hands of the Most High. Because when people have more power than you, like a supervisor, when people have more power than you, like a police officer, when people have more power over you, like the IRS, you have to focus and totally give yourselves over to the Heavenly Father. You have to get used to doing that. You understand? The days of just getting emotionally bent out of shape and using that as a resource to fend off uncomfortable situations, uncomfortable people, uncomfortable slander. You have to not rely on brute force, but you have to start training yourselves in spiritual warfare against demons and devils that don't have your best interest at heart. You understand what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying? I'm trying to show you that the old ways, which is of the Most High, the old ways in certain cases, in certain situations, don't apply to what we are dealing with now. That's what I'm saying. In certain cases, don't think I'm going off and saying, "Oh, he's dismissing the Bible." He don't believe in the Bible no more. He's saying we can't follow the old ways. I'm not saying that. I'm simply saying that you have to elevate your minds to work on a higher level. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, because the warmonger, he's out. He's out, and he's fully out, just about. He's fully out. He has shown himself as a devil. And you know who I'm talking about, and he's executing his wickedness in as far as captivity is concerned, we have to serve the Most High. I don't know what happened. Let me see, get me a. Yeah, there you go. We still have to serve the Most High. Let me pull my scripture up. Let me see if I can get it up. Can't seek video from storage. Please try again. Connect, support, help. I don't know what's going on there. Let me see. All right, there you go. Let me see again. So, I'm in Ecclesiasticus and the Apocrypha. And we're going to go to, I believe it's the, if I get it up there. No, I wanted the Ecclesiasticus. Ecclesiastes 1, I think it's 1 verse 1. 1 verse 4, that's what it was. And it says, wisdom has been created before all things. Again, it says, wisdom has been created before all things, and the understanding of prudence from everlasting. Prudence is to be wise and structured well in wisdom. It says, the word of God, Most High, is the fountain of wisdom, and her ways are everlasting commandments, meaning it's forever. To whom has the root of wisdom been revealed? To whom has the root of wisdom been revealed, or who has known her wise counsels? And this is what I'm going to go into today, is because the black man today, he is nothing without the Most High. The so-called Hispanic man, who is the real Jew, he is nothing without the Most High. You understand? And if you don't have the Son of the Most High in your life today, if you don't incorporate the wisdom and the knowledge and the understanding of the Son, which is connected to the Most High, you are nothing but a savage Negro, and you will not last but so long in this world. You understand? And that applies to the black woman too. Because now, like I usually state, the Most High has made smaller the in-between, between good and evil. Before, you can dance around in and out of the truth. You can't do that in these last days. There are repercussions if you do that. And everybody in America is trying to find a way to make ends meet. Everybody's trying to find an out. And it's not that simple. It's not that simple. They're paying you more on the jobs, but at the same time, the resources you need to survive and get by are going up. You understand what I'm saying? Check out what this sister is saying in this video. She's talking about people making an exodus out of America, but will that save you? I got a friend or a brother that I know, he's a Facebook friend. He's always telling me, get out of New York, get out of New Jersey, get out and escape the devastation that's about to hit America in those two areas, New York, New Jersey. Get out of there. And I'm telling them, you cannot escape the judgments of the Most High. What's written in prophecy is going to hit. You can't escape what the Most High's judgment is. But you can still travel and get away and stretch your dollars. There's nothing wrong with stretching your dollars. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing at all wrong with that. So this sister, she's talking about Negroes making a mass exodus out of Babylon, it seems like. I didn't watch the whole video. I just got parts of the video. But it seems like she's going in that direction. Let me make this bigger. Definitely seems like she's going in that direction. Let's check out what she has to say.
What is a mass exodus? I don't know what percentage of Black people, right? Black people who live in the United States currently. I don't know what percentage of them are currently actively leaving. And I don't know what percentage would have to leave for it to be called a mass exodus, okay? But I do know that there is a mass exodus underway. Sometimes, because I live in the world of Exodus Summit and this YouTube channel and these things, sometimes it's easy to think, maybe I just live in a bubble. And just because a lot of the people I know are doing it doesn't mean that a lot of people are doing it. And then I go outside of my bubble and I still see a lot of people are doing it, or talking about it, or thinking about it, or planning it, or asking questions. And so we've passed the point of the first wave of people. I don't want to say first wave, but the first wave of Black people leaving the United States.
I went to the Bahamas a few months ago, and I saw a lot of Black Americans in the Bahamas. A lot of people are leaving New York City because of what this new mayor, Mondani, is doing. He said he's going to tax the rich, and he's also proposing a slight tax on homeowners in New York City who are already squeezed to the brim. How's that going to work? At some point, we either have to rely on the spirit of the Most High or the spirit of the devil. But this can't be good because, last night I was on this page, another page, and you had these Negroes talking about they're going to vote, they got to get the voting up, they got to buy land, all this garbage they were talking. When you watch the news or current events, those things are failing people in the United States, not just Black people, but all people. Politics, the leadership that runs America, these things have proven to fail. It's failing Black people. Yet, these idiots, they think that they're going to get around the Most High's prophecy. They're not going to get around the Most High's prophecies. I don't know why they think the way they think, or why they think they're going to get around the Most. Well, I know why they think that, because they don't believe in the Most High. So you have this sister talking about in Exodus, and I'm not against in Exodus. I'm not against that, because those have been in my plans as well. But at the same time, these very people, they don't worship or serve the Most High in a spiritual capacity. That's what I'm saying. They don't know their nationality. They don't recognize who the physical arm of the devil is on this earth. They think that America and the world is going to continue forever and ever, and they're going to make ends meet and everything is going to be okay. That's a goddamn lie. That's a goddamn lie. The media would have you fooled to believe that everything is going to be all right. And that's not true. That's not true, because the world is at war. And no matter where you go, that war is going to affect you to some degree. People are walking around angry. How many of you saw the video of this young man slamming a young girl to the pavement and then stomping her on her head because she wouldn't give him her phone number? This is the psychological crazy that's in this world today. So this is why I say that you are just a ninja, N-word. You are just a psychopath ninja without Yahweh Shai, who they call Christ, in your mindset. Bottom line. Look what it says here. We're going to jump around a bit, so try to just bear with me. We're going to jump around. Look what it says here, though. I found this interesting. It says public anger in the United States has reached intense levels in early 2026. Again, it says public anger in the United States has reached intense levels in early 2026. I saw a report just 3 days ago when they said that crime in the United States has dropped 10%, like they were praising the job that the leadership is doing. They were giving themselves a pat on the back in terms of the leadership in this country. But people are walking around angry. People are walking around with violence in their heart. Then that's not even including the mentally disturbed that we all see every day throughout this country, the mentally disturbed who are not properly being treated, who are put on the streets, who are a nuisance and are extremely violent in various states or your local neighborhoods. But the system will have you believe that everything is all right, God doesn't exist, just keep working, just keep eating bad food, just keep entertaining yourselves, just keep watching sports, just keep watching the playoffs, and you'll be okay. They'll fix it. But all they are doing is kicking the can further and further down the block. That's all they are doing, and that's all they will continue to do until everything just falls apart and collapses. Until everything just falls apart and collapses. And that's exactly where we're heading, where everything will fall apart and collapse at some point. You can't keep pushing this machine. You can't. You can't. Because the machine can only go but so far, especially considering the Most High's judgment. Now, the judgment is overall that we are God's chosen people, you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Natives. We are God's chosen people. And the other people who are outside of the people I named, they don't like when you talk as if you are separate from them. They don't like that. They get extremely upset when you say that Christ was black, the Jews were black, God's chosen people are the Israelites, and they were black, and the judgment is that we're going to be delivered and we're next to rule this earth. They don't want to hear that, especially the Christian-minded Negro. He definitely doesn't want to hear that. They get very upset when you start to separate yourselves from the mayhem, when you start to separate yourselves from the crazies. They get extremely upset to the point that now people are walking in fear, even black people. And I can't blame them, because even myself, if I had the money, if I had the resources, I would move out of this country. I frequently go to Panama and the Bahamas and back and forth and check things out. The Cayman Islands, I frequently go back and forth and check things out. But there's no guarantee there's peace and safety there. There's no guarantee that I will be able to make ends meet there. Would it be better? I personally believe it would be better. Are other countries better than America? I personally believe if you have the money, you can do better in other countries. America is a rat race. But again, Babylon the Great, the modern day Sodom and Egypt, the modern day Rome, there's more opportunity to make money in this country, I believe, than any country in the world, for the most part. There are certain countries you can make money and survive, but I believe that America, Babylon the Great, you can make a buck here, but at what cost? To destroy the nucleus family or destroy your family to the point where your daughter will become a whore or loosey-goosey in the streets, to the point where your son will become bitter or angry or a fruity-tooty. That's what America promotes. It's a machine that will chew you up and spit you out and tell you that you are okay. That's the American way. But again, it says public anger in the United States has reached intense levels in early 2026. Characterized by deep political polarization, widespread protests, this is what we see every day. We see that every day. And a pervasive sense of discontent as the country approaches its 250th anniversary. They're making a big deal this July 4th. It's going to be a big, big celebration in Washington, D.C. to commemorate the slaughter of the North American Indians, the land grabs by the settlers who went further out west to rip off and steal gold, to commemorate your forefathers who are brought here to America to build up this place for free as slaves. I was watching last night for a little bit a documentary on Red Cloud, Sitting Bull, and Crazy Horse, how they tried to go up against this beast. And the technology that America had was just too overwhelming for the natives in this country. This is why I keep telling you, no goddamn Iran is going to beat America. You said that with the people in Gaza, and they're not going to beat America. Not yet. The scriptures tells us that America, the new Rome, would be broken without hands. Remember that? It says that the new Rome would be broken without hands. What makes you think that America is just going to lay down and die? I'm not saying it can't happen. I'm not saying that. But some of you brothers, you're insane. You just make up stuff because the white man is the devil. You just make up stuff. That's what I'm saying. And you make us look bad and stupid. You make yourselves look like you're just warmongers and militant, whereas you're supposed to be priests of the Most High. I'm not for America surviving. I hope America crashes. I hope there's a judgment on America. I'm going to shock you. You got white people. You got heathen people who are outside of the 12 tribes who want God's judgment to fall on America. But you got to be realistic. You have to be in your right senses, and you have to be patient. You have to be patient. Everything is going to happen when everything is ordained to happen. Check out what this says right here. Let me see if I can get this back up now. Check this out, because I went through this already. What happened here? We went through all this already. Did I lose it? Yeah, I lost it. Let me see. America is a modern day Rome, man. America, I'm going to say it again. America is a modern day Rome, and America will fall when it's time for America to fall. You can't make prophecy happen. Prophecy happens in its own time. And what I'm saying is that you have to be patient in the Most High. This is why I told you in the book of Isaiah, wait ye upon me. Wait ye upon me. Let me get this off. Bear me a moment. I want to see what this is. Wait ye upon me. What, there's a lot of work to do. The Most High says the harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. The laborers are few. And that's very, very true, man. But there is a collapse happening. There is destruction happening. And this man, Esau, the Edomites, the so-called white man, they are losing their power. They say you know a country by its children and its women. Look at the state of the children and women in America. Look how they conduct themselves. Look how they walk and talk. They are deplorable. But these are signs of breakage and cracks in the very system that is feared all over the world. Check it out real quick. Let me just play this real quick. Let's see if I get that back up. Oh, so.
because empires don't decline very often. But let me tell you from the history books, a little bit we can tell, it's not fun to be in a declining empire. Much more fun when the empire's going up, which was the last century or a century and a half of this country, the ride up. We are now on the ride down. China is winning. We are losing.
Richard Wolff, the famous economics professor from the University of Massachusetts, has come out and said that the fall of America is upon us. Now, is this true? To understand the argument, we need to rewind to the Vietnamese War. Do you remember what happened in what they call the Land of the Dragon?
Just to give you the context, the United States lost the war in Vietnam. When I say that in my classes, my students look at me, they've never heard such a thought. America, as they know from the comic books they read as children, only wins wars. It doesn't lose wars.
Well, if we read through the history books, we find out that it's true. In 1973, American troops were forced to leave Vietnam, and in 1975, the Communist Party of North Vietnam captured Saigon, marking the official win for the Communists. But this was not the only war that America lost. In 2021, the US withdrew its forces from Afghanistan after 20 long years in the country, fighting against the Taliban, who now run Afghanistan. As Wolff said, that's a pretty good sign that America lost. In Iraq, it was a similar story where the US were forced to withdraw in 2011.
I'm playing this to show that any country, anybody can be hit as long as the Most High sanctions it. Can Iran pull this off? It looks unlikely at this point, but then we don't know what can happen in the next few weeks or months. We don't know, but right now it looks pretty bleak for Iran because the oil that Iran pumps and stores on the straits, you have to get that oil out. If you don't get the oil out, then the source from where the oil comes from dries up. So they have that against their backs. Now, the embargoes or the blockage that America has set up where goods can't come in, oil can't go out or come into Iran, that's a problem. It's crushing the economy. So America and Europe, China and Russia, they're being affected by the blockades as well. But don't think for a second that Iran is okay and that their economy is all right and they're going to fight it out. It's not that simple. Remember what I said about money? Money affects everybody. You can get mad and say, well, God don't want us to just be about money. You're right. But at the same time, if your carnal life is not intact and you don't walk spiritually, it affects you at some point. You can get mad and say, well, I'm good and I don't need money. You need money, brothers and sisters. Picture serving the Most High and you can't pay rent and you become homeless. How effective are you going to be serving the Most High? Picture serving the Most High and you can't eat. How effective are you going to be serving the Most High? Picture serving the Most High and your kids are sick, but you can't get sufficient or adequate health care for your children or your wife or for yourself. Money talks. And I say it over and over again, that's what makes the damn devil thrive. Money, power, and the ability to control the banks, the judicial system, the educational system, all these things he uses to control your minds. So I'm showing this video that anybody can go up, but anybody can come down. But at the end of the day, it costs money to drop bombs on people. It costs money to bring ships from one country to another country. It costs money to keep soldiers fed. It takes money to pay soldiers to go in and do your bidding, meaning attacking and stealing. It costs money. And I'm going to shock you. When the money runs out in this country, I said it before and I'm going to say it again, you're going to see a lot of brothers in the faith, a lot of sisters in the faith change up. You're going to see a lot of desperation hatch from different brothers and sisters who were once living one way, but are forced by the Most High, by the Spirit, to live another way. And if your spirit is not prepared for that, it's going to be devastating. It's going to be devastating because at that point, the word is going to be different. The prophecies are going to be different. The judgments are going to be different. Your life is going to be different. How you walk in the Most High, that's going to be different. You're going to see a change. Remember I said it. Remember I said it. You understand? Because money is key in this kingdom and with this devil. Money. In America, she's going to get hers, man. She's going to get hers. All the dirt that America has done for so long, America is going to get hers. So I understand what this sister's saying. I get it. You know, she's simply saying, I'm trying to get a better life. I'm trying to get a better life. But overall, you can't escape the judgment of the Most High. Just like America couldn't escape past judgments and won't escape future judgments, there's a curse on us, and we cannot escape the curses of the Most High, bottom line. You can try, but it's up to the Most High who will determine how far you will go. Remember, wisdom is the main thing that keeps us afloat. Remember that? And wisdom has been revealed to who the Most High loves and those who love him. Remember this? Again, it says, to whom has the root of wisdom been revealed? See that? So you can move, you can open up a business, you can be an entrepreneur. If you don't have the wisdom of the Most High, at some point, your time will run out. Your foot will begin to slip from under your body, and you will lose traction if you don't have the wisdom of the Most High. This is why the scripture says that the sentence against an evil man is not executed speedily, or because it's not executed speedily, people get comfortable and think they're doing the right thing and they don't want to hear anything. But watch when the money runs out. Watch when America becomes unstable. Trump is the final foothold for Satan, meaning the people who are controlled by Satan, to try to live that old school American lifestyle. And it's just dead. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen, man. I mean, that's just how I see it. Unless someone sees it differently, I don't know. I don't know. But I do know one thing. You have to be very wise today. You can't follow your emotion. You can't follow being overly eager. You have to walk circumspect and judge the times very, very carefully. Because one bad mistake could be life-altering for you and your family, very much. So you have to walk in the capacity of a wise man. It says, to whom has the root of wisdom been revealed? Or who has known her wise counsel? Or to whom has the knowledge of wisdom been made manifest? And who has understood her great experience? It says, there is one wise and greatly to be feared. The Lord sitteth upon his throne. He created her, meaning wisdom, and saw her, meaning wisdom, and numbered her, meaning wisdom, and poured her out upon all his works. And poured her out upon all his works. So now, if that's the case, here's a question. If that's the case, then why are people suffering the way they're suffering today? If the Most High numbered, counted, measured wisdom, and poured her out upon all his works, meaning mankind, mainly us, the chosen people of the Most High, why are people going through what they're going through? It has to be because they're not following the instructions of the Most High. It has to be they have not applied the wisdom that the Most High has in his books, meaning in this truth, they have not applied those things. It has to be. So meanwhile, time goes forward, prophecy fulfills itself, it goes forward, the Most High's judgment goes forward, and people are going through hell. So like this sister, she thinks the best alternative or the best steps to take is to relocate. But does the spirit of wisdom stop there? No, you have to serve the Most High. And all these Negroes that's doing this exodus that she's talking about, all these brothers and sisters who are going to Ghana, who are going to the Caribbean, some are even going to the Far East. You understand? Some are even doing that. But how does it benefit them if they don't apply the wisdom that is needed to survive in these last days? It makes no sense. But let's give her a chance. Let's hear her out. Let's check her out.
This was decades ago, right? But we've passed the point. So in this, let's say in this exodus, in this Black migration, we've passed the point of the first wave, right? The first wave was retirees who already had pension or Social Security, who already had a way to make their money or live the rest of their lives on income. That's already more common, right? It's not super uncommon. I'm not gonna say everybody knows, but it's not uncommon for people to be like, yeah, my uncle, my neighbor, my so-and-so, when they retired, they moved to Panama, Mexico.
What happens if you retire and the system collapse and people no longer receive a pension? What happens if the system collapse and you can't get your SSI, you can't get your Social Security, you can't get your Medicaid? What happens then? You see how tied people are in, how tied and locked people are into the system? You see how they depend on the system and they become the system, or they become a part of this modern day Rome? You see that? No mention of prophecy, nothing like that, because they so caught up into the plan, they forget that God exists and God is real. They forget that God is real. But what if all those things are cut off? You know, I was shopping, and the 99-cent store or the Family Dollar, and I remember to get this light, because a couple of days ago, I did the live feed. I just finished a live feed, and I think I was surfing the net. All the lights go out. All the lights go out. So I go downstairs. I get my flashlight. I got these flashlights I ordered from Amazon, real powerful flashlights. And I go downstairs, and the whole block, from a 2-block radius, no lights. And I remembered I bought these cheap lights, and you put a AA battery in there, a couple of AA batteries in there, and it came in handy. I picked this one up yesterday because it's very important to prepare for things like that, man. Because some people I know don't have anything in the house. They don't have they don't have candles. They don't have food. They don't have nothing in the house. So this is like $1.50, but I got 2 of these, and it lasted. You understand? But the point is, we have to start training our minds to be prepared, man. Here's another one. This one I had for years. It's called a Brooklyn Light. I don't know why they call it that. The Brooklyn Lantern. You understand? But the same batteries have been in this for over 5 years. It barely lights up now. I got to put new batteries in it. But the point is, a soldier in the Most High, he's prepared. And you should be prepared, man. I got the brick batteries that starts up cars, but you can use it for multiple things. I got 2 of those. But the point is, anything can happen. And you can go to one of these countries far away. You can go abroad, but the Most High's judgment, his arms stretch out. And the bottom line is that wherever you go, the curses, they're going to follow you. They're going to follow you, because America is the modern day Rome that will be broken without hands. You understand what I'm saying? Real quick. I know I'm jumping around a lot. Just bear with me. That's what America is. Let me make this bigger so you can see. Check this out. I think we went through this already with this. What happens if the power grids go? What are you going to do? There's no live feeds or social media. There's nothing like that. So what happens if the power goes out and you have no internet now? So what happens then? What do? Where's God at in your life when that happens? Where's Allah in Iran? Do you think Allah is making his presence known for the people of Allah? I asked this the other day. What does the Quran say about the white man who has taken over and ruled this world? Again, I was watching a documentary with, based on Red Cloud, Sitting Bull, and Crazy Horse. This man, his power was superior to bows and arrows. You got what I believe was our brothers and sisters trying to storm and attack this man. This man is unleashing cannons and blowing the so-called Indians to hell. They tried a form of guerrilla warfare, but that didn't work too well because it was prophesied that this man would live by the sword and rule this world, but not forever, for a certain amount of time. That's what I was trying to tell these brothers last night to a certain degree. They didn't want to hear it, but this man, he's ordained to rule for a certain amount of time. That's what people don't understand. The same way Iran is trying to hold out and use time against this man, his weapons, the white man, his superiority, this white man, his alliance with other countries, this white man, is too vast for Iran to win unless the Most High turns the table. And we see that that's not happening as of yet. Down the future, it will happen. The Most High will turn the tables. But right now, I don't see that. I don't see that right now. I could be wrong, but I do not see that. I don't see the children of Israel uniting and coming together in the spirit of Yahushua, who they call Christ. I don't see that. I see major division. So I don't see that happening. I don't see the famine. You could try to twist it and make it seem like the famine is in effect. I don't see the famine. I see fat people. I see obese people. I see people in KFC while I'm driving. I see people in McDonald's while I'm driving. I see people in Popeyes. I see people walking down the block eating slices of pizza. Where's the famine? The famine has not happened yet. People are living like fat cats. People are buying the latest iPhones. People are saying, oh, people are suffering in the country. There's no jobs. There's no food, and there's no money. People are in the mall. The mall is packed as I speak. I work with the public. The mall is packed as I speak. So where's the famine? Famine has not hit. Is it gonna hit? Yeah, it's gonna hit. But you can't make something that's nothing. You can't make it into a famine because you saw a person in Harlem starving because the homeless are in the streets. You can't make it the ultimate famine. Can't make it. Famine will fulfill its prophecy when the Most High lets the prophecy fulfill itself. You understand what I'm saying? You don't see that. You don't see that at all. But things have to play itself out according to prophecy. If you get caught up into the folly and the foolishness, you're going to look like a man of folly and you're going to look foolish. You're going to look like a man of folly and you're going to look foolish. Bottom line. Here it says, these are the results for, is America a continuation of Rome in the book of Daniels? Then it says, it goes into whatever, but this is what AI is saying. It says, whether America is a continuation of Rome in the book of Daniels, whether America is a continuation of Rome in the book of Daniels is not a direct biblical statement, but rather a widely discussed interpretation with historicists and prophetic studies. So people are going back and forth. Is America America, the home of our captivity, the great Babylon, is America a continuation of Rome? I personally believe, even though they're going back and forth, is America Rome? I personally believe that America is a spiritual continuation of Rome. I personally believe that. The same way the Jews were oppressed and getting their ass kicked, excuse my language, it's Shabbat, in Egypt, the best people that portray the children of Israel oppressed and being afflicted, and the more they afflict them, they multiplied and kept growing, and the oppressors and their people feared the mass amount of babies that were the results of afflicting the children of Israel can only apply, in my opinion, to blacks and Hispanics and natives. It can only apply to them. If you was to do a movie and you had to find an actor to represent the children of Israel in a modern day Pharaoh, in a modern day Egypt, it would only apply to you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and natives. There's nobody who would be able to fit that role in a movie, even though they change up the movies today and make everybody white. But I'm saying hypothetically, they had to pick an individual to portray and represent himself as the children of Israel in a modern day Egypt. It would only fit you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and natives. Same thing with Rome. The Romans had all types of garrisons around Israel. The Romans oppressed and kicked Israel's asses constantly. The Romans fed Israelites to the lions in the arenas. The best representative to portray the real Jews who are oppressed today and were oppressed in Rome, it fits the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and natives. It fits them like a glove. Today in America, which I personally believe is an extension spiritually of Rome, superpower, that nations feared Rome, including Egypt, including the Germany or Germanica, including modern day France and Spain. They feared Rome. Rome was widely known as a brute and a beast and did whatever the hell Rome wanted to do. What is America doing? America is doing whatever the hell she wants to do in the name of white supremacy. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. This is basic history. Basic history. And the people who Rome suppressed and kept his foot on their necks wasn't just the Israelites, but I'm using them as an example in Israel. The Africans didn't oppress us in Israel during the time of the Roman Empire. No. No nation oppressed us more than the Romans in Israel, in our homeland. No nation oppressed us on a higher level than the past, historically past, in the historic past, like the Romans. None. So I'm simply saying that these are things we have to look and analyze. If you're a spiritual man, you can see clearly as day that Rome is an extension of America, because that beast in the book of Daniel wasn't destroyed yet. All the other empires had fell and gone, but it said that the last beast, the fourth beast after the Greeks, would be destroyed without hands. So it has to be America. It has to be America. Here it's saying, let's go back here. It says in the book of Daniel, specifically chapter 2 and 7, 4 consecutive kingdoms are described, with the fourth kingdom traditionally identified as Rome, the iron legs, or the dreadful beast. Here's how the interpretations link America to its prophecies. The Anglo-American power theory, many proponents of this view argue that the Fourth Kingdom Rome did not disappear. So if it didn't disappear, we're not stupid to believe that it's talking about ancient Rome, which is current now, is the beast and has all this power. It has to be America. We're not stupid enough to believe that it's Russia, because nobody is favoring Russia, trying to break into Russia, trying to live like the Russians. We can't say it's the UK, even though a lot of people want to go to the UK and live in the UK. But most people, as hellish and as evil as America is, they want to be here in America. They want to be here in America. Everybody wants to be an American. And at the same time, we're looking at the video with the sister. She wants to get out of America. I personally believe there are more people who want to come into America than to exodus out of America. Because America is Babylon the Great. It's the modern day Rome. It's the Sodom and Gomorrah. It's the New Egypt. It's the land of your oppression, you so-called Negroes. It is. Again, it says many proponents of this view argue that the Fourth Kingdom Rome, the Persian Empire was destroyed, Greece was destroyed, the Babylonian Empire, that was destroyed and fell. But Rome never was destroyed in the prophecy of the book of Daniel. It says, but rather fragmented it, and its influence spread, culminating in the rise of Britain and subsequently the United States. So we know it's not Britain because Britain don't have that flex like the United States. Britain doesn't have the flavor, if you know what I mean, of the United States. Doesn't have that. So as much as you want to deny it, and as much as you want to glorify America, or talk America down rather, you can't get around the fact that America mimics Rome and is the new Rome. Can't get around that. It says the feet of iron and clay, Daniel's the second chapter, in Daniel's interpretation of Nebuchadnezzar's dream, the final stage is the feet of mixed iron and clay, a divided, weak, and diverse kingdom. Is America weak and divided? You better believe it's weak and divided. But according to prophecy, it would fall. Before the fall, it would be weak and fragmented and divided. Today you have Republicans against Democrats, liberals against conservatives, bougie blacks against liberal blacks, bougie whites against what they call white trash, or liberal whites, or weirdo whites. You got all that going on today. So is she divided? You better believe she is divided. Divided big time. All we got to do is stand by and watch. That's all we got to do. Because what's happening? We are in the last days. We are in the last days, and we're watching the fall of America transition right before our eyes. America is not like she used to be. These are the last times. These are the last days. Now, that's the argument. That's the big stumbling block that you are going to have to fight out if you choose with your brothers and sisters, because your brothers and sisters, they don't believe that this is the last days. They don't believe that. They believe you are insane. They believe that you, brothers and sisters, have lost your damn minds. They think you are cultish, but are you cultish? Or are you in the spirit where you can put 1 + 1 and see that it's 2? you can join 2 plus 2 together and see that it's 4. But your brothers and sisters, they swallow a camel, but strain at a gnat. They got all these degrees, all these different degrees they got. But they can't see that America is rotten to the core. They can't see it. They can't see it. They can't see that this is it. That God is judging this place as we speak. This is why you choose to follow the Most High. You choose to follow the Most High. Because like the sister who's talking about making that exodus, you're making an exodus in the Most High. In other words, you have separated yourselves from the Most High. Doesn't it say in your book? Doesn't it say in your book that the Lord sent out the disciples, which relate to you, the men of the Lord, which relate to you? Doesn't he says he sends you out as sheep in the midst of wolves? Doesn't your book say that? That's what you're doing. Who are the wolves? Not just the heathen, but your own people who hate what you believe and what you teach. Doesn't your book tell you in the book of Philippians, I think it's 2 and 12, I can't really remember, that he sends you out in the midst of the people like a light? So in both cases, you differ from the other people. Doesn't in your book it says you are like a type of first fruits? Doesn't it say that? Shalom, brother. Happy you're joining us today. Doesn't the book say that? So the same way the children of Israel are a special people unto the Lord and above all people, Deuteronomy 7 and 6. As time went on, the special people fell away from the Most High. The special people started worshiping the gods of the other nations who God said is above all people on this earth. The special people turned away from the Most High to the point where the Most High had to draft a lot of you brothers and sisters away from your own people, among your people, but spiritually away from your people. You get what I'm saying? Makes sense? We're special among special people. We're chosen among many people of our own. Many are called, but few are chosen. That's you, brothers and sisters. So I'm simply trying to show you that what we see, they can't see. Remember earlier I said the Most High the Most High will reveal his secrets to who? The prophets. And you so-called Negroes and Hispanics who choose to follow and serve the Most High. Back in Wisdom, Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha, it says, she is with all flesh according to his gift. See that? It's a gift. You have this gift from the Most High because you love the Most High. You have this gift from the Most High because you are the chosen of the Most High. Now, what if a person chooses to throw his gift away? Imagine giving a gift to someone that's going to help and benefit that brother or sister, and they throw it in the garbage. Or they just throw it up in the closet. You got brothers and sisters who fall into that category. You got brothers and sisters who don't realize how blessed they are to see what the old school prophets couldn't see in the past. They desire, our book says, the old school prophets desire to see the things that you see in Christ. You understand? So it's no shock when you walk in the spirit of the Most High. It's no shock when you deal in the Most High that your own brothers and sisters, they see it and they hate you for it. I had a situation early this week. I think it was Wednesday. Remember I told you Satan is on my ass. And this Muslim brother, he comes on the bus and he says, hey, brother, you okay? I said, yo, it could be better. He said, why you say that? I said, because Satan is on my ass, man. Satan is on my ass. Let me double up for this. And he was like, damn, brother. I said, you going to be all right? I said, yeah. I said, I'm going to be all right, though. I'm a warrior. And he said, yo, I know. I can see it on you. I can see you a warrior. So See, everybody that because they're not in the faith, they can see things on us. And when you practice the Most High and live the Most High and do the Most High and keep the Most High's high holy days, and you correspond with brothers who are of the Most High, you begin to change. You begin to change the same way if you was an alcoholic or a drug addict or you was chasing whores. You would change and people would see that change too. So as a man thinketh he is, as a man believeth he is, he will become. That's the power and beauty of the gift. That's the glory of the gift. The gift elevates you above your brothers and sisters. Remember I said earlier, we are separate from our brothers and sisters, even though we are among our brothers and sisters. And last week I said, don't forget, we are still servants to our brothers and sisters, as frustrating as they are. As evil as they are, we are still servants the same way Yahushua Christ was servants to the brothers and sisters in his time. Remember that, very difficult to remember, but try to remember that. That's your homework assignment for next week. Try to remember you are a servant to your brothers and sisters, and try to be kinder, try to be more respectful, try to be more helpful, try to show a level of love among your brothers and sisters. Try it. Doors will open. I guarantee you. But here again, it says, check this out where I'm going. Let me get that back up. It says, she is with all flesh according to his gift, and has given her to them that love him. The fear of the Lord is honor, because if you fear the Most High, honor will come your way, and glory, and gladness, and a crown of rejoicing. See that? This is why we choose to walk this path. The fear of the Lord maketh a merry heart, and giveth joy and gladness and long life. 13th verse. Whoso feareth the Lord. Again, it says, whoso feareth the Lord, it shall go well with him at the last. At the last. I want to focus on at the last. And he shall find favor in the day of his death. So the last end is beneficial for those who love and follow the Most High. The same way we are in the last days, I'm going to kind of flip it a little bit. The same way we are in the last days is beneficial to follow the Most High in the last days. The same way the Most High will benefit you in the end is beneficial for you even in these times, not when you die, but in the end of days. That's what I'm trying to go to. That's the point I'm making. Here it says, know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemous, disobedient to parents, unthankful, and unholy. And unholy. To celebrate Mother's Day next month, that is unholy. To dress like a whore and to twerk and shake your behind, that is unholy. You understand? The latest rap music and rappers, what they rap about is unholy. Good afternoon, brother. It's unholy. You understand what I'm saying? So, again, back to our transition, we acknowledge what we see among us. We recognize what is holy and what is unholy. So, the spirit, which is going to destroy America when it's time, the spirit, which is this modern day Rome set up to cause fear all over the world, which will fall and will be destroyed, is unholy. So the Lord showed us this, and we chose to separate from our brothers and sisters in spirit. And they don't like it. They don't like it. They don't like it. Then the third verse says, without natural affections, truce breakers, false accusers, incontent, fierce. Focus on that word, fierce. So I said the last days, focus on last days, and focus on fierce. You see fierce people in the streets today. This is what we opened up with earlier. Remember how the people are today, how the population is today. They're fierce and they're disrespectful and they're evil. You understand what I'm saying? Disrespectful and evil. This is what they are today. Because that's what the book tells us. The book says that the love of many shall wax cold. Remember we started reading this earlier? Just try to keep up with me. I'm jumping around a lot, so just try to keep up with me. Again, it says public anger in the United States has reached intense levels in early 2026. Early 2026. We're just beginning. We're just beginning. Characterized by deep political polarization, widespread protests, and a pervasive sense of discontent as the country approaches its 250th anniversary. The atmosphere is marked by a rage bait cycle. Check that out. In political discourse, with 89% of Americans expecting high level of political conflict during the 2026 midterm election. They're ready for beef and war already, not just the ghetto youths, not just the lowly income, but even at the top. Even at the top, there's war, discontent, anger, bitterness, protests, even at the top. Political discontent and protest. Millions of Americans are participating in No King's protests with major coordinated demonstrations against President Trump, against President Trump's administration occurring in March 2026. The protest reflects anger over issues such as immigration raids, deployment of federal officers, and economic policies. So this don't look good. This does not look good at all. Toxic polarization. The country is described as hopelessly divided. Hopelessly divided, with political affiliation often holding more significance than faith or other social factors. A January 26, 2026 poll indicated that Republicans and Democrats alike feel high level of frustration through the cause and target of their anger differ, driven by a language of humiliation and sharp participation divides. They are angry and out of their minds. Everybody's angry. And the money hasn't even totally evaporated yet. The money has not even totally evaporated yet. So what's going on? So why would you want to be in a world that's dying? Why would you want to go back to that? Why would you want to serve a master who's the devil when you can serve the true king, which is Yahweh Shah, who the world knows as Christ? Third verse back in Timothy, it says, without natural affections, truce breakers, false accusers, incontent, fierce, despisers of those that are good. Who's that? Haters of those that are good. Who is that? You might be a sister and you want to dress appropriately. Despisers of those that are good. You might be a brother and you might want to live a righteous lifestyle. You don't want to be a whoremonger anymore. And you tell your brothers who you once used to hang out with how you made a transition from wickedness to righteousness. And you might even touch on a bit of their own lifestyles, meaning your friends' lifestyles, how it is wicked. The verse says they would be despisers of those that are good. You might not want to celebrate the 4th of July. You might not want to eat Thanksgiving dinner. You will be despised of, you will be despised of what's good, man. Traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of God. having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof. From such turn away. The Lord said to turn away. So when are we going to make that transition? Or where has that prophecy been fulfilled on a high level? When is that transition going to come into play? When are we going to turn away from the people we thought we loved, or the people that we thought loved us? When are we going to make that move? You think it's that simple? It's not that simple. It's not that simple at all. You understand? You think it's an A, B, and C discussion, and all we got to do is walk? Nah, man. And like I tell a lot of brothers, the Most High, He's going to make us earn. He's going to make us earn the kingdom. A lot of people think He's going to teach a couple of times on the streets or on YouTube, and you're going to be in the kingdom of heaven. That's not true. That's not true at all. So prepare because you have not seen anything yet. You understand? But the Most High warns us of what's going to happen in these last days, and people are going to be evil, man. People are going to be evil. So I personally believe that America is the modern day Rome. I personally believe that. So the sister here, she's making some good points. Or just talking, and that's cool. I have no problem with someone relocating. Like I said earlier, twice already, I would love to relocate. I don't have the money for it right now, but I would love to relocate. But that's not going to chase away the curses. The curse is going to follow us wherever we go. And the crazies, they're going to be wherever we go. Will it be a lot less in certain countries? Possible, depending on the country where you're going to. But again, we don't know the financial situations that are going to manifest in a lot of these countries that people are running to. We don't know. We know that, the scripture says, no man can buy you. No man can save you from these curses, So you got to get used to that, man, because that's what it is. Because, this is what we're dealing with. And the pressure is making people crazy and loony. In Deuteronomy 28, verse 20, it says, the Lord shall send upon thee cursing. See, no matter where we're going or try to go, the curses are always going to follow us wherever we go. And people don't like to hear that. You know what they told me last night? They all started snickering and laughing. They said, I have a victim mentality, and I'm not going to, you Israelites, talking about you brothers too now. They said, you Israelites, you're not going to do nothing with yourself. You're just going to cry and do nothing. You're not going to make no money. You're not going to leave the country. You're just content with just a doom and gloom attitude, they were saying. It was all ganging up on me. But the more I reasoned common sense into them, the angrier some of them got. The angrier some of them got. But I discussed the conditions of our people. And, that made them angry too. Made them very angry. They didn't want to hear that. They didn't want to talk about that. But how can you not discuss that? How can you talk about going to other countries or doing better, still stay in America? How can you talk about America and doing well in America when the very white man who runs America and the common peon white American citizen, their whole body and structure is on fire, and black people are just going to leapfrog over white people, Chinese, East Indians, and just automatically do better? That don't make any sense. That's just dumb. Furthermore, I didn't even go into the curses because you know how Negroes feel about the curses. But the Lord said, the Lord shall send upon thee cursing, vexation, and rebuke in all thou settest thy hand unto for to do. Meaning that whatever you put your hand onto, whatever endeavors you have planned out, whatever entrepreneur ideas you have, there's a good chance it's not going to happen. As far as a large body of you guys joining together, 20,000 strong, and competing with Chinese, Japanese, and East Indians as big business tycoons, The Lord is showing you that's not going to happen. And it hasn't happened in over 200 years. So I'm not crazy. And I tell brothers this all the time. Am I crazy? How come everything you put your hands on, it falls apart, or the white man, the enemy, destroys it? How come? Because you're a cursed people. You're a cursed people. And the more you try to grow, you have to turn to this to grow. You have to be an American to grow. You have to turn to some form of wickedness to be accepted. You understand? But overall, we were slaves in the past, and we're slaves now. We're slaves now. But Negroes and Hispanics, they do not want to hear that. But give it some time. They will succumb to a lot of what we teach. Give it some time. They will acknowledge that they are slaves. They will acknowledge mainly that they're Israelites. Once they start connecting the dots and seeing that they're Israelites and then start reading about the curses, it will start to make sense to them. And then they have no choice but to believe the word of the Most High. Most High's will. Most High's will. But again, the 20th verse says, the Lord shall send upon thee cursing, vexation, and rebuke in all that thou settest thy hand unto for to do. Check that out. Cursing. You want to open up a bank? Cursing. You want to open a business that can compete with General Motors? You want to be the first black man to create his own car? You call it the Negro 6000, whatever you want to call it. But the Lord said he would create cursing and vexation and rebuke whatever you try to do on a large scale. I'm not talking about you open up a mom and pop hardware store. I'm talking about big business. Big business. Lord said, He's going to curse your damn hands until I'll be destroyed and until thou perish quickly because of the wickedness of thy doings whereby thou hast forsaken me. See that? You forsook the Lord, and now the Lord has forsaken you. So it looks pretty bleak and impossible for you to rise up as a Superman or a financial super guru or Wall Street tycoon businessman and free your people from all the oppression and from all the hardship unless the Lord allows it. The same way it seems impossible for little Iran to defeat America unless she is supported by China and by Russia. You'll see an article or something on the news pop up. Russia brings ship to Iran. Russia is going to defend Iran. Okay, China is going to help Iran. And it's been like that for weeks. You have not seen anything of any significant substance going towards World War III or those two countries supporting or helping Iran. They'll support them to a certain degree, but right now it don't look so good for Iran. You know, it don't look so good. And the same thing, relates to you so-called Negroes and Hispanics. It don't look so good for you if you are trying to build yourselves up as an American. It does not look so good. So these curses, they're going to pursue you wherever you go. It tells you in the chapter of Deuteronomy 28. So I understand you want to make a move. I understand you want to get out of America, but it's not going to happen. Now, one prophecy that's in the Bible is in the book of Micah. In the book of Micah, where it says that the Most High, He will raise us up. He will cause us to attack the enemy. He's going to do that. Let's go to the AI version. I'm not going to even get the verse, but let's go to the AI version and see what that says. Well, you know what? I'll get it. Because, prophecy will fulfill itself. It will fulfill itself. But in its time, to make up things and get impatient, that's not going to cut it. You have to be patient and you have to understand what the Most High is taking us. So in Micah 5:8, it says, and the remnant of Jacob shall be among the Gentiles, meaning non-Israelites, in the midst of many people as a lion among the beasts of the forest, as a young lion. So you're going to have that energy. You're going to have the spirit of the Most High. You're not going to be a weak, broken down Negro, a weak, broken down slave like you are today. It's not going to happen. You get what I'm saying? Again, it says, and the remnant of Jacob, which represents you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and natives, who are under the power of the Most High, when you are supermen again, not slaves, but supermen again, it says, the remnant of Jacob shall be among the Gentiles in the midst of many people as a lion. You know what a lion does? A lion has a nature to hunt and to kill. You understand? So you're going to be as a lion. In the Deuteronomy, I think it's 49, the Lord describes us as an old lion. As an old lion. Here, the Lord said, you will be as a young lion. Then it says, among the flock of sheep. Who are the sheep? The sheep are the Gentiles and the other nations that walk all over you, take advantage of you, use you to make money, mock you, make fun of you, who have parts in destroying you. The Lord said they're going to be as a flock of sheep. And we all know what lions do to sheep. Then it says, who, if he go through, both treadeth down and teareth in pieces, and none can deliver. Why does it say none can deliver? Because it's all of the Most High. Remember what I said earlier? Everything is of the Most High. You understand? None can deliver what the Most High puts in a position of destruction. You understand? Let's see what AI says. I'm kind of confused. Not confused. Curious as far as what AI say, because I didn't look. I just got it real quick. It says AI Micah 5 and 8 describes the remnant of Jacob, faithful Israel. See, faithful Israel, as a dominant force among nations. Look at that. As a dominant force among nations, likened to a lion among forest beasts, or a young lion among sheep. See that? Treading down and tearing in pieces enemies with no one to deliver them. See? Why it says no one to deliver the heathen? Because the Most High and his prophecies must continue and must be fulfilled. The Most High's prophecies must be fulfilled. You cannot escape the prophecies of the Most High, including the destruction that's brought by the white man. That was the Most High's doing. So when I watched this documentary last night about Sitting Bull, Red Cloud, and Crazy Horse, and I saw the power that they had, the white man that is, I understood that it was the prophecy of the Most High. It was the prophecy that Babylon had to be set up. It was the prophecy that Babylon would have to rule. It was the prophecy that this man, the white man, would live by the sword and destroy by the sword. So I knew right there, if only the North American Indians knew the prophecies or knew the judgment of the Most High, they would know that this man is the great Satan and no man can destroy him. No man can change the Most High's prophecy the same way America in its time must fall, and nobody can stop that prophecy. They're going to try to stop the prophecy the same way we tried to stop the prophecies of the Most High. We tried to fight this man back as Black Panthers. We tried to fight this white man back by revolution. We tried to fight this white man back by destroying property, burning down buildings, burning down factories, burning down businesses. And how far did we go? How far did we get? We didn't get far because it was the Most High's prophecies that had to be fulfilled, that we had to go into slavery. You saw it because of our evil and because of our wickedness. We had to suffer. We had to be put down by the Heavenly Father. Bottom line. So what's going to happen? The prophecy is that things are going to turn around. You'll get your kingdom. You'll get your riches. You'll get your freedom in its time. It says it symbolized divine strength, victory, and protection over enemies. Do you have that now? Do you have that now? You got guns. Do you have protection over your enemies? Do you have divine strength with your guns? You got plenty of Negroes and Hispanics with guns. Is it protecting you against your enemies? That's the question. Huh? That's the question. You got to think. You understand? You have enemies. And only the Most High can protect you against your enemies. Bottom line. Only the Most High. Not going to change. So when you understand that, it starts to make sense. We just have to get our brothers and sisters to understand what the Most High is about and what this Bible is talking about. Once we do that, you're going to see a complete different situation among us as a people. You understand? But everything is fulfilling itself. And the same way we war against each other, they are warring against the same way we war as a people amongst each other and fight and bicker. That's what they're doing now. All we got to do is just stay out of it and let the Most High's prophecies fulfill itself. Check this out real quick about Russia. It says, as of April 2026, U.S. Space Command and intelligence agencies have warned that Russia is operationalizing a co-orbital anti-satellite weapon that may be developing a nuclear-powered device to target satellites in low Earth orbit. In other words, they want to, Russia, they have a weapon. I believe they've been had this. We talked about this already. They have a weapon that can destroy the satellites that America uses to detect who her enemies are at the time when they're shooting missiles and nuclear warheads at America. You understand? This is what this is for. So Russia is not stupid. They're getting ready for war. America's getting ready for war too. So war will come. War will come. You know? So they want to disable America from detecting when they shoot missiles over here. Targeting infrastructure. Reports suggest these systems are designed to threaten U.S. satellite constellations, specifically highlighting the threat to SpaceX, Starlink, networks to provide internet service. So if they can knock out the internet service, if they can knock out America's ability to detect weapons or missiles that's coming over here, that's a win-win. That's a win-win. Nuclear capability. U.S. officials have expressed concern that Russia is developing a space-based nuclear weapon to threaten orbital satellites, though there's no evidence it has been deployed. Bullcrap. Bullcrap. These people think 20, 30 years in the future. And with this situation in Iran, all gloves is off. All gloves is off, and they're battling to survive in these last days too. They see the power of turning off the faucet of oil. In other words, blocking the different straits so you can't get oil and I can get oil. Or I'm going to force you to not have oil and I'm going to have oil. You understand? So with all this going around, tension is building up. When the money is an issue, tension builds up. When threats on occupying certain positions globally is a threat to another country, tension builds up. So all we got to do is stay out of the garbage. That's all we got to do. And we'll be just fine once we do that. Another story real quick. Let me show you something. Now, how many of you heard of this situation? Because now I got to deal with our people, man. As sad as it is, it's sad that we got to go this route and deal with our people. But our people, man, they're just ridiculous, man. You had a situation where, let me see if I can find it, where this brother body slams this sister, man, because she wouldn't give him her number. And this is what I'm talking about. You can't get around the fact that we are animals. You can't get around the fact that we have become dangerous people to be around, man. This is why, I can't really fault the sister who's talking about relocating. I can't really fault her on that because, uh, we're savages. Who, if you had a choice, let me ask you, brothers and sisters, a question, man. 'Cause I argue with this one brother about this all the time. If you had the choice of living in the hardcore ghettos versus a neighborhood where it's 70% white and 30% black, what would you pick? What would you pick? Some brothers, if you chose to pick the neighborhood with the white people, they would say you're weak, you're selling out, give back to your own people. But when you see stuff like this, you're not encouraged to live among your own people, man. That's very discouraging, man. And, you know, I understand it's a mindset. It's a mindset. But when you have the choice between you and them, and you and your daughters and your sons for a better life versus living with them, a lot of times you are going to move away from them. So I understand what the sister is talking about, but this is just crazy right here. Let me see if I can get this as a play. I don't think it's not a video, but I think this is the mother being interviewed. But yo, not only did he slam her on the ground, he stomped on her head. He stomped on her head. I think they caught him though. They caught him, I think. But that's just crazy. But this is what we are dealing with. And you can't tell me this is not a curse. Nobody does this like us. You got other nations that do this, but not on the level like us, man. This is just completely, that's just crazy, man. Let me see if I get another one up. Talking about Earth Day. This is the mother right here. Let me see if I can get this up. Freaking crazy, man. You gonna tell me we don't got a problem? Come on, check it. Check it out, though. Oh, no, that's not it. Yeah, it is it. This is it. Schools are out of control. A lot of people are educating their children at home, or they sending their children to special schools if they can afford it. They're paying for their children's education. When's the last time you visited a public school? And the schools in the low income neighborhoods, they're very troubled, man. This is getting really, really crazy. See, we can't always focus on the white man. We got to focus on our people too, because they are dangerous too. Now, I'm not comparing our people to the physical arm of Satan on this earth, but they got the damn Satan in them. You can't tell me they don't got Satan in them. But this is very serious, man, because we look at it from the outside. But if you have to live among this, and if your child is slammed to the ground like this child was slammed to the ground and stomped in the head by a savage Negro, you're not going. You're going to be ready to kill somebody. You are going to be ready to kill somebody, man. Don't tell me you won't. You are. Just check it out, though. See, a lot of these. I didn't see the whole video, so I'm not going to judge. But I would like to see the whole video. A lot of these girls think they can beat dudes, man, and even the grown women, they think they can put their hands on these dudes and nothing happens. I'm not saying that happened. I'm saying overall in general, it's not the same world like the 70s and 60s and 50s. People, if you hit a man, he will hit you back. He will hit you back. The best thing to do is keep your hands to yourselves. So I don't know what she's talking about. I don't know if if that's what happened. If that it's a shame. Even then, the way he dealt with it was just totally just crazy. There absolutely no reason to attack her like that, man. Because go to damn jail, man. Go to jail. It's not worth it. In other words, but she's pissed though. But let me see if this one is it. Maybe this one is. Let me see. Let me see if I get that. 'Cause I want y'all to see this before I go. Oh no, it's not it. No, it's the same story. But let me go back here. Let me play this. Oh, this is the guy's mother or whatever, parent or guardian, whatever, and she's trying to say that the girl instigated the situation. Still, that was way too much. He went overboard. But I get what that's crazy. Check it out. Let's go. Either way, he's not going to beat that case because he was way too excessive. And they're going to say if he was being harassed by her, why didn't he go to the authorities or A, B, and C? He suplexed her to the point she was out cold, then stomped on her head. That's just not. He's going to do some time. That's not going to fly in Babylon too. That's not going to fly. See, this the schools are like, just it's like the schools today are like a zoo, man. When I was coming up, the schools didn't have metal detectors inside the schools. Now the schools, a lot of the schools, I'm not saying all of them, have metal detectors. They have metal detectors. That's how crazy it's gotten, man. So, you know, uh, a lot of people choose not to send their kids to these schools. Look at him. Look right here. He's about to stomp her in her goddamn head. Look at that. That's crazy. So I don't know. I thought the story was he was asking her for her number. I think that's what I saw on Facebook, and she wouldn't give him the number, and he was a nut job, and he slammed her and stomped on her head. But apparently from what she's saying, it was the other way around. She was bullying him or harassing him. So she says that she could be lying her ass off. She could be lying. So I don't know, but that puts a whole different turn on the situation. Let me see if I can. I'm trying to find the actual video, but I can't find it. I know I saved it, but listen, man, you gotta, like I feel sorry for the brothers and sisters who have daughters, man, because today, oh man, it's horrible out here for the children, man. It's horrible for the children today, man. So if you don't have a decent place to live, and if you don't have some serious money, this is what I'm talking about as far as money. Because if you don't have some money, you got to be in a certain tax bracket. You stuck. you stuck, man. And if you stuck, then you can't really do much. There's not much you can do. So you have to be with the animals and the ignorant. And I know that's horrible for to accept, but that's what it is, man. This is not a plaything, man. This is real life. And unfortunately, this is what we have to deal with, man. So I'm like, it's sad because you can't get your money up. And if you can't get your money up, you trapped, you stuck, man. That could be your daughter down there. But then again, if let's say hypothetically what she said is true, your daughter should be trained or taught the spirit of the Most High. We're cursed, and we don't teach our children the spirit of the Most High. We don't teach them about the Passover and so on and so forth. And I'm not judging because my children are out of whack too. I'm not judging, but I'm just saying, man, this is what we have to deal with. It's sad, but again, we're cursing. The thing is, people are gonna forget about this, and it's gonna be like, nothing ever happened. Nothing ever happened. Look right here in Deuteronomy 6, verse 7. It says, 6 verse 6 says, these words which I command thee this day shall be in thy heart, and thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children, and shalt talk to them when thou sittest in thy house, and when thou walkest by the way, and when thou liest down, and when thou risest up. So, we're supposed to teach our children the word of the Most High, but that's not happening today. These kids is crazy and out of their minds. They're out of their minds. I see this with my own eyes. You got brothers who get mad if you expound on that. They say you just hate your people, but that's the truth. And I'm like, and you know what I counter with? I said, yo, you acting like a damn idiot. You don't got TikTok. You don't got TikTok. All on TikTok is just crazy, man. Crazy. The children are crazy, crazy, crazy. But people want to act like they don't see what the hell is going on. You see what's going on. And I understand there's fake news everywhere and there's lies everywhere, but that's no excuse not to dig deeper and know right from wrong, or to be able to read between the lines. So, I mean, it's very difficult to talk with brothers and sisters today, considering the mindset that they're in. Then you got the fake news that saturates their mind. You don't know what's real and what's not real, but that doesn't mean you have to be ignorant and not protect your children. That little girl could have died, or she could have ended up with brain damage, but he stomped on her head, because I saw the video. He stomped on that young girl's head like that girl was a dude, man. Like that girl was a dude. And the men today, the women are so wild and the men are so wild, they will beat on a woman like it's a dude. In certain cases, the girl will fight like a dude, a man. So you see how crazy. I lost my connection. You see how crazy things are. Things is just really crazy. And it's not getting better, it's getting worse. Here on as far as your information, this is why I say you gotta research and get more than one source when you're dealing with something. Because I thought that he was asking for her number. I saw a source that said the young man was asking for her number and she rejected him, and he just went crazy, spazzed out on her. I had no idea. But now, the truth is coming out after I got multiple sources of what happened. But here, as far as information, it says as early as of early 2026, proliferation of AI generated content and deepfakes have significantly increased the volume of synthetic misleading, or fake information, making it a central challenge for media consumption. So I'm saying this is a little outside of what we're talking about, but you got to be very careful with the sources of information you pick up, because the truth is very difficult to get today. And at the same time, the truth is very easy to get today. But you have to really think. Some people are so emotional, they don't think. They don't think. And even in these videos where the cops is beating the hell out of someone, a lot of times we don't get the whole video. So we think that the black woman and the black men are victims. But when you get a chance to see the whole video, when you get a chance to see the whole content, you see that our people, in a lot of cases, was acting a fool. I remember the cops, they was roughing up this dude in Penn Station. And I'm just standing there watching, and I saw people complaining, the whole Black Lives Matters type attitude. It wasn't Black Lives Matters, but you know the Black Lives Matter attitude. Yo, he can't breathe. Yo, why y'all roughing him up like that? Blah, blah, blah. So the cop, after they finally handcuffed the dude, the cop said the problem is with a lot of you people is that you will film the latter part of the video. You won't film the whole video. You don't know what really happened. And I thought about that thing because I started noticing that on social media. We don't get the whole video a lot of times. And we just formulate information based on our anger, our frustration, and past cases where people were actually brutalized. But in a lot of cases, we run our mouths. We don't know when to shut up. We keep going on and on. We're disrespectful. We act like we have this privilege that no one can touch us. And your body slammed, brutalized, and you end up in jail, or someone ends up kicking your damn ass. So I'm just saying, try to get the whole picture in most cases. Try to get the whole picture, because a lot of times we don't get the whole picture. And like I was saying earlier, start trying to prepare for the worst of the worst to come. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm saying just try to prepare for that, because here, what they're talking about, it says these are the results for power grid attack may come from China, 2026, may come. I'm not saying it's going to come, but it's still better to be safe than sorry. It says U.S. intelligence and security agencies warn that China is actively targeting U.S. critical infrastructures, including the power grid. The potential plans to launch disruptive cyber attacks in 2026 or during a future crisis. China state-sponsored actors such as Volt Typhoon and Flax Typhoon are pre-positioning, creating covert networks, and utilizing bonnet armies. I don't know what's going with that. But the point is, it's better to be safe than sorry. That's why, I showed you, the little light thing, I got. And this is on a small level. I got other things going on, but you never know. So this is $1. What can it hurt? Even if it's a storm and the lights go out, can't hurt to just have that, man. So use your brains and prepare and be spiritual, man. Be spiritual and check out all things. In our book, it says, be not ignorant of anything small or great. So always have your thinking caps on and prepare for the worst, because the worst is going to come. The worst is going to come. There's no doubt about that. That we all can agree on, that there's going to be a judgment from the Most High and a great fall, not just in America, but all over the world. But the main focal point is Babylon the Great, which shall fall. But anyway, brothers, I got to get out of here, man. Almost 2 hours. I'll see you brothers on the next one. And I'll definitely will see you throughout the week. You brothers stay strong, stay focused, and stay in the spirit of the Most High. Pray for me, I'll pray for you, and do what's right in the eyes of the Most High. I'm out.
Reach into my pocket. Read to him the 29th scroll, 6th verse.
Beware the beast man, for he is the devil's pawn. Alone among God's primates, he kills for sport, or lust, or greed. Yea, he will murder his brother to possess his brother's land. Let him not breed in great numbers, for he will make a desert of his home and yours. Shun him. Drive him back into his jungle lair, for he is the harbinger of death.
I found nothing in the cave